first year I was there, at Christmas time,
Yeah.
we had 4 boards at that time. And you could turn those boards together, eh? So you could operate the 30 sets of cords.
Yeah.
Because each board had 15. So it's 30 and 30, 60 sets of cords you could operate by turning those 2 boards together, by turning 2 boards together. Well, anyway, I got left on the switchboard at Christmas time by myself.
They all took off.
Well, that's the way they scheduled it, eh?
Yeah.
And looking back, they should have known better than to ever put a trainee, well, a young one that's just started. I've only been there since August. And anyway, I'm on the switchboard and all these drops, and it just got out of hand. So I pulled every plug there was out, pushed all the little drops back up, and then I'd just been cut off. Oh, I'm sorry, and who were you talking?
Start them all again, eh?
Started them all again. It was just
Where did we get to? We got to
That-
Betty Giles.
Betty Giles, that's that one,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, number 4.
4, that one.
Velma Jackson.
Velma Jackman is this one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next one, Donna Creelman.
Now, I knew of her, but only because they lived on Wilkinson Road.
The next one is Norma Creelman.
Yeah.
The next one, Katie Dobbin.
And I think Katie Dobbin was Katie Hill, but I'm not positive.
Jane Hine.
Yeah, Jane Hine. Which one's
Francis.
her?
This one, second to the end.
Yeah, that's Jane Hine. Now, her mother worked with us at the
And
telephone office.
Frances Boone.
And Frances Boone. Now, I knew of her, but I didn't know her.
Okay, over here on the left again. John Smith or Jerry Rickey.
I wouldn't be able to tell you either one.
Yeah.
I knew of them both.
Jim Rayner.
Jim Rayner, yeah, he and Ray Patterson were buddies.
So were they?
Yeah.
The next 2, we don't know who they are. They're unidentified. That's what happens.
Yeah. And then this girl, who's this girl?
Sheila Watling.
Oh yeah, now Sheila Watling lived on Helen Road where I lived. Yeah.
Is she related to Con Watling?
No, there was Sheila and Mavis and Trevor. And Trevor was the older brother that was away in the war and came back, and he's died in the last,
Okay.
I don't know, say 5 years.
And so the girl that isn't you,
That isn't me.
isn't that fascinating?
No, it isn't me.
I wonder who she is.
At that age, 1943, what would I be? 1940, I was born in 31, and 43, what would I be?
We're not sure this is the right date either.
Yeah.
It could be earlier, could be later.
Let's see, 1943, if I was born in 31, what would I be? 12, eh?
Yeah.
And that's not me.
Well, depending on
At
what.
12, I'd be in Vic West School.
The thing about school is, like, we've got from the fall of 42 to the spring of 43.
Yeah.
Or from 43 to 44. We're not
Right.
sure. Nobody's got the right date on this.
Yeah.
So this could be 42, 43.
And it wouldn't be me anyway. Because see, I never moved out here. We never moved out to Helen Road, at least until 1946.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was after the war when my dad came home and they bought the house on Helen Road.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So, moving down the line, we just have to get the names in there. Hilton, Victor Wright,
Don't know him.
Bobby Clark.
Bobby Clark. I knew of Bob Clark.
Yeah.
If that's the Bob Clark, the guy that works at the Horticultural Center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to be
Yeah.
on Grange Road.
Yeah. I still see his sister periodically, Jocelyn.
Yeah. Ernie Dyke,
No, didn't know him.
and nobody knows who this guy is.
No.
Teacher is Walter Kitely.
And I don't know him. The Kitely is familiar because Kitely's lived on Burnside Road. And I knew Ken Kitely
Ken
from there.
Kitely, yeah, we knew him the name before.
Yeah.
Dale Busey or Bussey,
I've heard of him.
Ray Patterson,
Yeah. His
Mary-
wife is Evie.
Eddie
Yeah.
Patterson.
Yeah, I'm still friends with her. As a matter of fact, we're going to lunch next week. Me and I and Babe Ashton, who was Babe Buckingham at the time, we all worked at the telephone office. And we're all turning 83 next month.
Oh, for goodness sakes.
And
Like I turn 83 next month, Evie already is, and Babe turned 83 on the 17th, and I'm next month.
do you remember Ruth Scott?
Yes, very much so, when I used to hang around with Ruth a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not Ruth Scott anymore.
No, she's Morgan.
Morgan Osler now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I knew her, I knew all of the Scott girls. Grace
Sure.
worked with us too.
Yeah.
Ruth worked with us.
Maureen.
Maureen, she's died several years back.
Long time ago, yeah.
She lived down in Duncan.
Terry died just recently.
The boy,
Yeah.
what was his name?
Terry.
Terry, okay.
Where were you? 1, 2, 3, 4. Cliffmore Geddes.
Yeah, yeah, I remember him.
Charlie Rickey.
Charlie Rickey, yeah. I knew of him, yeah.
Number 5, unknown. Maybe somebody Gordon.
I don't know.
Peter Giles.
Yeah, Pete Giles, yeah, he's one of the ones that stayed at our place.
Wilf Parsons.
Yeah, Wilf Parsons, my brother used to hang around with.
And Alan Mitchell.
I don't know him.
So you didn't go to school with any of these people?
Nope, nope. See, we never came out to Helen Road until I think it was, I'm not positive, but I think it was May of 1946.
So well after all of these photos.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the same, many of the same people in
Yeah,
1938, 39, 40, somewhere
Yeah.
around there.
yeah, no. Who's that lady?
Teacher Miss Simpson, it says.
Oh, I don't know.
I didn't know any of these.
Who's that one?
This one?
Yeah,
You know her.
it's Lisa Loritz.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She always was tall, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the one that gave me the names for most of these people.
I bet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she would remember them.
Yeah, she's got a good memory.
Yeah,
Vera Burnham.
yeah. I knew of her, but I
Yeah.
didn't know her.
And there's the same group a year later. Got most of them identified.
No, that isn't me.
And
You see, and when I went out there, I went to school there, that was like 1946. I was at Vic West School. And I used to catch the school bus on High Street, at the end of High Street,
yeah,
and go around with because a lot of the kids in the View Royal area were bused to Vic West School. So if I came through High Street from Helen Road,
mhm,
I could catch the bus and I went that way to school.
sure.
Then I was in grade 7 that year, I think. The next year, I went on the school bus every day to school because I didn't want to change schools because I was
To
in my
Vic West.
last year at Vic
Yeah.
West.
Okay, let's look at, this is 45, 46, 47, somewhere. And,
Oh.
yeah, I'll just get a little bigger here.
Yeah. I like the one that's big.
Yeah.
See, I think that's that same girl.
The look-alike to you?
That one that they thought was me, but I don't know for sure. I think Kitely was in my class at Mount View too.
There's
Oh.
only one identified in there, and that's Bob Clark.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this. Have you got any class photos of your own?
I don't think I have one from Mount View. Mine are all Vic West if I got any. I should have a look-see.
It'd be interesting to see if
Yeah.
you do. Yeah.
See, but what I did, Daryl, a few years back, I took all my stuff, all my pictures, and I dipped them out in 2 piles, one for my daughter and one for my son,
Oh, yeah.
and I gave them all away.
Class photos included?
I'm not sure,
Not
I
sure
got
yet.
some of those still, because I was, well, my husband had died, he was my ex by then, and my kids had to go through a lot of stuff, eh?
Sure.
So I decided, well, when it was my turn, they weren't gonna have to do all that for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I divvied up what I had and gave it to both the kids.
Yeah.
And, but I still have some stuff, I could look at some pictures at home, some school pictures and things, but I don't know if there's any from Mountain View, because they only went the 1 year.
Yeah.
Then I went to work at the telephone office, and I worked for them for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and then when they closed in 54, when the office closed in 54, 60 years since they closed the office last April.
Yeah. It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, really. That's,
I'll make a copy of this and you can take it with you. Maybe something will come to you.
yeah,
That's what happens usually. You stare at it for a while
Yeah.
and connections start coming.
because the year that I went, we had this little teacher that we were bad. We weren't good kids at all. And the girls at that time were the ones that their parents had money, were wearing the plaid skirts and the cashmere sweaters to school.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my grief.
That one.
There was a couple of twins went to Mount View. A couple of boys. I played on the grass hockey team at Mount View.
But you're only there for 1 year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this 1 year. Rats. Throwing erasers from the back of the class down to the front and
Were you a
stuff
bad
like
girl?
that. Oh, indirectly, I never threw anything like that, but we weren't good.
Were you better than your brother?
Well, I don't know. In the early days when we went to school, Howie and I were in the grade 3 classroom together. I don't know why, because we were both behind in school. And
It was common to have 3 grades in one room.
but Vic West, we were all separate classes there. I don't know why he was still. But anyway, one day they were going to give my brother a strap. And I stood up and I said, if you strap my brother, I'm going to go home and tell my mother on you. I mean, what did I know?
Yeah.
But and he then ended up going to Central Junior High. He went to Central Junior High for quite a while. Then at 16 he went to work, just like I did. After I was 16, he went to work.
Yeah.
Never went back.
Oh. Half the kids did.
Yeah, well, in those days we could go to work. If we didn't like it, we could go find another job.
Oh, sure. Lots of work.
Yeah. There was different places to go and see. Oh my gosh, eh? And you know who I'll get to go over this with me is Babe Buckingham, who is now Babe Ashton, and Evie Patterson.
That was great.
And I'll bet you they'll know some of these people.
She was pretty smart. I worked with her at Motorsport, part of Pacific Chrysler.
Oh yeah.
And she was doing the books and stuff
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
she was a
very
sharp little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And very nice.
Yeah, and Babe, where the telephone office was,
Mm-hmm.
then there was Babe Mahaffey, John Smith's sister, I think it was, and then I think it was Babe's mom and dad's house that she lived in, and she just walked up to the corner to go to work every day. Lorraine McCloy had the farm and everything
Yeah, sure.
then, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Who was the trucker guy that was out there? Hastings and North Road? Nixon. Was it
Oh, Nixon, yeah. Well, my brother lived in Nixon's basement for
Yeah.
some part of his time.
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, this is, we jumped to 1951, so. You'd have fun sitting down and talking to Liesel.
oh yeah. Well, when we worked there, now Greta was at the office, because she was telephone operator, that's Lorne's sister.
Mm-hmm.
She can remember the days when they were building on the top of Helen Road, which they called Knockin' Hill.
Yeah.
And the man that built that house, his name was Finch, taking lumber and stuff to build that house by horse and buggy up that hill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's... Oh,
What did your dad work at?
my dad was in the Navy, and then he worked at, he was one of the first ones that was hired for family allowance.
Oh, yeah.
And then he left that and he worked at the jail when it was a mental home.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
So did my dad,
yeah,
for
Yeah.
a very short time.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And Miss John Humphrey's dad worked there too.
There's another name, Ralph Mackey.
No, I don't know
No,
him.
Ralph and Maple Mackey, North Road.
Yeah.
Um,
Margettishes, I knew the Margettishes, and I used to go out with Roger.
These are the oldest photos we've
Oh,
got.
isn't that
That's
something, eh?
back in the 20s. We don't know anything about it,
Oh my
except
gosh.
we know one person, George Reed.
Oh, yeah.
This is Royal Oak,
Oh my gosh, eh?
and there's another oldie. Again, we know nothing.
Look at the,
Here's
you
an
can,
old one.
you can tell that because of the clothes,
Oh, yeah.
can't you?
This has got my uncle in it, and I think my mother's in this one. The Whiteheads, do you remember them?
Yes.
Fagerbergs.
And then, like, remember Hartley used to own the garage at the corner of Marigold and Burnside?
No,
Yeah.
no, I was Royal Oak boy, so that's too far away from me.
Yeah, well, and that's what some people forget in
Yeah.
those days. A lot of us didn't have cars for getting around. We
No.
rode around a lot on bikes and
Yeah.
things. But if you didn't have a need, you never went anywhere except in your own neighborhood, so to speak.
That's right. There's 1922. We got most of the people identified in that one.
Unreal, eh?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. I think Bull, it was Bull or Ball, maybe it was Ball, was the lady that Betty Giles lived with
Oh,
when she was on Charlton Road,
made a
at the
connection
end of
there.
Charlton Road.
Yeah,
No, it's amazing.
1922.
Oh, look at that, you got quite a few
A
there.
lot of them, yeah. We didn't do this. This is somebody else's work
Yeah, somebody else did
a
this.
long time ago. Fortunately, we got a few of them. But
Yeah.
very, very few in the interim. This is great.
Oh, look at this, is a basketball team.
1925, 26, basketball, yeah.
Oh, imagine that,
Yeah. This man's father, son
eh? Yeah,
brought that in.
unreal, eh?
Yeah, it is.
Look at the unis.
Royal Oak store in the background.
Yeah.
And only 5 players. They didn't have any extras.
No, and, well, in women's basketball in those days too, you could only play 2/3 of the court.
Oh, did they? Certainly.
Because even when I played at Vic West School, the latter years, when I started, you could only play 2/3 of the court. Men could go all the way, but women couldn't.
They're so weak.
Of all the nerve. No. Well, that's great, Darryl. It's a lot of work, but a lot of people put a lot of effort into it, eh?
Yeah, we got about 140 class photos. And,
Yeah.
a lot of them.
So it'd be 1940 when I came out to Vic West. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we were Saskatchewan kids and they put us in Quadra Primary. Well, we were both behind in school too for one, so who cared? But, you know, at the when we were kids, it used to bother us more than I think. It bothered me more then than it does now.
Well, sure.
I don't care about it now. Because a lot of it, I maintain, and what do I know, that my brother and I were well behaved in school in those days, when, in the early ages when we were just kids, and they just ignored us.
Yeah.
And those things did happen in those days.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah.
but then we moved from Vic West out to here, and like I say, I think it was 1946, it could have been 1947. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It could have been May of 1947.
Next time you talk to Howie, you can probably figure
I don't
it
know.
out.
I don't know if he can figure it out. Yeah. Like he went to work when he was 15 or 16, and first he went to work at Green's Lumber. And Green's Lumber used to be on Douglas Street,
Yeah.
and I don't know how long he was there. I was thinking the other day, I can't even think of hearing conversation in the house of my dad saying anything to him, because in taking him down there or doing anything like that, I don't know how he even, but he went down there and worked for a little while, and he was not happy. And he came home and must have said something to my parents, because my dad went down to sort of check it out, and my brother was right. They weren't treating him the way they should.
Yeah.
So whether he quit or what, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he started working for, I think it was Gilbert McNutt Logging, and he was only 16 when he started with Gilbert. And I think at the time, I don't know if at the time Lorne had the garbage contract or not, because Lorne later hired a lot of the guys because he had the garbage contract.
That's right. Yeah.
And Lorne was a strange guy, but he was good to a lot of people, work-wise and stuff
Yeah.
like that. He gave them a lot of jobs, and you know, he was and Barney, he was then another story, you know.
There's a story when Lorne decided to get out of the garbage business, and Sanich decided to take it over. They bought all of McNutt's equipment, but the joke was that his equipment was all shot. It was all worn out.
Oh wow, that would be Lorne.
Typical Lorne, yeah.
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 Well, then, like even those trucks when I don't know, was he started or his son started the dirt going up and down the island with those big trucks, those logging trucks, and then the dirt trucks, the dump trucks and whatever. But John's got a horrendous business going there now.
Yeah. This is our site on the internet.
Oh, I see.
Royal Oak Schoolyard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And all the school photos are here.
Oh.
And the other really interesting part of what we're doing is we're making videos of people talking about their oral history. Sort of what you and I have been doing here.
Yeah.
And telling stories about growing up in school and what
Yeah.
life was like.
Well, I remember when we were at telephone office, we decided we'd have a corn roast. We were having it up at my mom and dad's on Hill Road. So we went out the night before to steal corn. Well then, up, I think near where the distance ed school is now,
Right.
there was a big corn patch. And Stella Kazokas was one of the girls that worked with us, and she could walk well. She had a bad leg. So she was to be the lookout while we went in and stole this corn. So anyway, we went and stole this corn, and we get out and we find out it's cow corn anyway. So we had to go buy it the next day anyway. It was so funny, yeah. But like Velma Jackman's parents had, her family had the farm there. Then, I don't know, but I think then King Cotts had it for quite a while too. After the Jackmans had let the farm part go, and Mr. Jackman, her dad, had part of the property. But I think the old grandpa or something lived down the back. But anyway, part of the property went to King Cotts, and they ran it for a long time. And then Sangley Farms had somebody else took it after King Cotts, and then Sangley Farms had that vegetable growing business there on Wilkie Road for years.
Who had the big farm going up the hill off Hastings? My grandparents' house backed onto it.
Oh, wasn't that,
They had cows and pigs.
yeah,
and-
I don't know about the pigs, but I know the cows. They had the corner store down at the corner of Marigold and Interurban.
Oh.
There was a store down there.
Yeah, I remember that.
On the, like if you're going down the hill.
Yeah.
It was on the right-hand side on
Yeah,
that
other
corner.
side, yeah.
Yeah. And then there was a little old house on this side,
Mm-hmm.
and that lady that used to wear black high-top boots laced up all the time. She had bad feet or something.
Mm.
And that little house didn't last very long after we went out there. But I remember that lady being there.
And that intersection used to flood quite often.
Yes. I'm trying to think who that is that had the cows up there. Bill Jackson. Bill Jackson.
Okay, that's, yeah.
And his niece, I guess it would be, worked with us at the telephone office, Mildred Jackson. You know Wilkinson Road and Santa Rosa?
Yeah.
Well, when you go up Santa Rosa, the first little street there is Santa Anita, I think. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
And they lived in a little house right there, Jackson's, and there was 4 kids, and the mother and dad. Little weeny house. Little weeny house. And Bill Jackson, he was the one that had part ownership in that store at Marigold, I think, or was the owner, I don't know. And then he later used to run the cattle and whatnot up there.
Mhm.
My brother and I used to work in the greenhouses that were up there.
Sure, yeah.
That was kind of we thought that was a good job.
See if any of these names are familiar to you. McMorrins from Canova Bay.
Oh yeah, we used to go out there and dance in the.
Grace Nichols.
No.
She just lives up here now. Because she was connected to the Ponderosa.
Oh yeah. Well, we used to go and dance in that Ponderosa
Yeah.
in the barn down there.
Well, she talks about those times.
Yeah.
There's a talk in here by Ron Burnham,
Oh yeah.
Travers, Cunningham. Cunningham's of Elk Lake.
Oh yeah.
Everybody.
Now I knew some of the Cunninghams
You would have known Chuck and Gladdy.
because I played ball with one of them. She was
Sure.
a granddaughter or whatever, and then the grandparents had the garage there to start with.
That's right, yeah.
And I guess they don't. All the property on the other side of the road's all gone now.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
sold.
And because I knew one of the ladies that was she worked in the Victel Credit Union.
Oh.
Was used to be a Cunningham. Yeah.
Morgan Osler.
Yeah.
She's done a talk for us.
Yeah. Oh, she'd be full of news too.
So where are you on the internet and computer stuff? Have you got an email address?
Yes, I have an iPad. Is
Yeah.
all I have.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, when computers first came in the government, especially the Ministry of Education, that's where I worked.
Yeah.
And I was the one that babysat and looked after them all when they first came. But
Then the technology went roaring by you.
Gad, you just needed to walk out the door and you were behind.
Oh, yeah.
You bought the
Yeah.
computer and took it out the door and it was out of date.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. So. The girls never went to high school, but they still knew a lot of people
Mhm.
around there.
Yeah.
You know.
You have children?
Yep. I have a son and a daughter. My son lives in Duncan.
Mhm.
My daughter lives up in Deep Bay.
So you see them occasionally?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to both. My son used to live down here.
And you're still driving and
Yeah. still
roaring
getting
around?
Well, I don't roar around anymore. I don't drive at night anymore.
Yeah.
And but I'm still able to get by. You know.
You and Howie look quite a bit alike.
Yes.
Yeah.
Biggest thing for me is the eyes. I haven't had good vision
Yeah.
since day one, but I get by. You
And
know.
your married name was McCloy.
Yeah. No, my married name was Hartley.
Hartley. Oh.
Yeah, I was a Hilton,
L-E-Y?
Hartley. Yeah. Yeah. And then after, when I left my husband, I changed it to McCloy, and that was my grandmother's maiden name.
Oh, I see. So you're McCloy now?
Yeah,
Yeah. MC?
CLOY.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. That's like Morgan. Just choose your name.
Yeah.
Pick one you like.
Yeah, I did. Well, you know, it's a upsetting time in your life when you do that, and at the time you really should wait, but you don't see too clearly, and all you can think is getting it behind you.
Yeah.
And later on, when I thought about it, I should have just left it alone because of the kids, you know, but I didn't. So.
How long did you work at the telephone company?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Could you talk for half an hour about the time you spent at the telephone company, the people that were there, what you did, all the, you know what makes it interesting is when you can tell things that nobody else knows.
Okay.
You'd make a great speaker for us.
Oh, I maybe I could get Evie and Babe, and the three of us could dream up something for the.
Well, our interest is Royal Oak mainly, second Saanich.
Yeah.
And
to do something to do with the
telephone company would make a really.
Colquitz Exchange is what it was.
That's right.
Because see, Colquitz, Albion, and Belmont all closed at the same time.
Yeah.
1954, April 1954. Yeah. And
those early years would make a great little.
And like Babe was there at least a year before I was there.
Yeah.
Then Evie came next, and then it was me, and then Evie wasn't there long when she left, and I think went to BC Hydro.
You started in 53?
No, I started at the telephone office in 48, I think.
48, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So he got me a job working for Dr. Parazoo, and I was collecting crayfish, snakes, and newts and fleas off the dog. I used to get a nickel for crayfish, 10 cents for snakes, 10 cents for newts, and 1 cent for fleas. I should have got 10 cents for fleas because I know suckers are hard to catch.